implementing such a transformative electoral reform, that is one nation, one election. I hope that through engaging discussions, experts, analysis, and constructive dialogue, we gain deeper insights into how the policy could reshape India's democratic landscape. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speakers and participants for their presence and valuable contributions. Your insights and perspectives will be instrumental in developing and informed discourse on this crucial issue. I hereby look forward to an enlightening and thought-provoking discussion. Thank you. Moving further in this program, I would like to take a moment to introduce the respective dignitaries on the dais. As the chair of this seminar, we have here with us Honorable Justice Adarsh Kumar Goyal, sir, who is former judge of the Supreme Court of India. He is also the former chairperson of National Green Tribunal. He has served as Chief Justice of Odisha High Court and Guwahati High Court, and he has vast experience in the field of judiciary and legal studies. As the keynote speaker of this seminar, we have here with us revered Dr. Anirban Ganguly, sir, who is chairman and trustee of Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Research Foundation, which is the New Delhi-based think tank of Bharatiya Janata Party. He is a respected member of BJP's National Executive Committee, and also he is a member of the core committee of the West Bengal State Unit in the party. He has extensively worked in the areas of public policy and political research. We have with us our patron, Honorable Principal of Shyamlal College, Professor Ravi Narayan sir, under whose guidance and supervision we have been able to organize this particular seminar. His unwavering support and constant encouragement always provides us enough confidence to execute the task successfully. We welcome you, sir. We have with us our guiding spirit, Professor Kosha Tiwari, ma'am, who is IQAC director in our college. Ma'am always extends a helping hand to support and to motivate our faculty members to organize such events. We welcome you, ma'am. We have here with us one of our senior most faculty member of the college, Professor Neena Shirish, ma'am, who has always inspired us to strive for success in academia. We welcome you, ma'am. We have with us many faculty members of different departments of Shyamlal College. Your support and participation in this seminar is also valuable for us. Dear students, other guests, we welcome you all. Thank you in advance, students, for being patient with us in this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akash, for introducing our esteemed speakers and for helping our audience understand the importance of today's talk. Now, I would like to invite our principal, Professor Ravi Narayan sir, to address our audience. Welcome, sir, with a huge round of applause.
Namaskar. Honorable Justice applause. So we have been trying to reach Honorable Justice Adarsh Kumar Goyal earlier also, but it's the first time sir has been with us, and it's a matter of grace to relate and pride for the college fraternity to have your blessing, sir. Secondly, another is our every day in the newspaper columns and the TV debates that are time to be able to see him. So we also extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. Previously, we talked many times about your timing, but it never happened. But this is the opportunity where we are able to meet. So that matter, I would like to congratulate the students and their society exam, and led by Dr. Akash Soni. As I have been telling you, your program is more lesser, and that they have proved year after year, starting from civil certification course, we have many new things they have been introducing in the college. They are bringing all my students. So they deserve a huge round of applause. And the topic also they have given that is one nation, one election. And as all of us know that by the report related across all the media in the country. But the thing is that youngsters like you, faculty like you, teach the society further. And that is the motive behind this we have this conversation with the students. When we talk about one lesson, one election, I just take you backward after the looking Saturday, remember the day in 1967 was wrong when having election used to happen. After committee recently, they have also suggested that it's very difficult to quantify the benefits and cost because it's very difficult to exercise how much cost the benefit is by how much time management. But at the same time, it is very difficult to quantify the amount of cost savings you will have. But nevertheless, definitely you will have an increase of at least 1.5% GDP every year. अगर GDP का फिगर आपको बताऊं तो approximately it is around 5 lakh crore. So 5 lakh crore का saving तो आपका guaranteed है. And how much other benefits you will have, that's the other thing that can be, if you try to, put everything into cost aspect, like the policy paralysis happened during the model code of conduct, and all those things, so the administration completely derailed. They are busy for other things, the kind of force movement we have. And if you, club it together, there are so many areas of study and research. So with this a small brief note, I don't want to take much time because we have such dignitaries with us who want to hear them. So with this brief note, once again, sir, I welcome you to Samlal College. Thank you for all of us joining here. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thanks a lot, sir, for encouraging our audience with the wise words. Now it's time for the much awaited talk by our keynote speaker, Dr. Anirban Gandhi. Please welcome, sir, with a huge round of applause.
I've been wanting to say at the outset, I've been wanting to say one thing. Dr. Akash was very magnanimously termed my address as keynote. But I am only going to give you a note. The key is going to be delivered by Honorable Justice. Because I believe that non-experts, I mean, whatever research I have learned, non-experts must not speak on subjects of which they are not masters beyond a certain degree. And I have stuck to that very assiduously. So that's why we would all like to listen to Honorable and respected Justice Goel. For us, for many of us, we have always admired him. We have closely followed his contribution. And to be able to face to with him at such a prestigious college only means that I have also arrived. It only means that. Thank you so much. And I wanted to make one more. I am late Arun Jaitley used to say there are core committees and core committees. So I am not member of the core committee of West Bengal anymore. I am part of the core committee. So I just recalled him his words. He used to have a lot of, and I think had he been around today on this entire discussion of one nation, one nation, he was so closely involved with Delhi University, and therefore, and even when he was around, actually, this entire issue has. I want to thank Professor Principal, respected Principal Raghunarayan Sir. In fact, I can speak in his mother tongue, I can speak in my mother tongue, but we'll speak in English. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I want to thank Professor Tushar Tiwari ji. I want to thank Professor Nat. I want to thank my young friend Akash Soni and all members of the organizing committee, Dr. Swati Ravi, Dr. Vivekananda Nathan, Dr. Vishya Devi, and Ms. Radhika Singh. And this is a very interesting effort that we have put together. It's done under the Ukraine society. And I was asking our young friends what this is all about. I find it extremely vibrant, I find it extremely dynamic. And just to come in here, we are not youth anymore. Like, I mean, okay, there are people who at the age of 40 also in jail. It's a different matter. And at the age of 40 also, they need youth frontal organization. But to come here the positive energy in this college, especially in this effort. Now, I'll just touch upon certain things as well as that. And I think it's important that you organize this effort.
Recall, in January 2025, while addressing the NCC cadets, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, "One nation, one election is not just a legal reform. It is a movement for a new India. Young minds like you must engage in this discussion as you are the future leaders who will shape India's democracy." Now, if we talk about Amrit Kal and 25 years, 25 years is not much.
And if you look at the next 25 years, India 2047, most of you, except us, will be on the verge of time.
But most of you sitting here in this room, you would be in leadership positions in your own respective fields. And that is where the importance, the centrality of Amrit Kal and any transformative effort that is made in the next 25 years will add on to India's great power, status, and emergence. In that context and in that backdrop, if you look at this entire effort of bringing about, ushering in this one nation, one election structure, it makes it more relevant for you. It makes it relevant for your future. It makes it relevant for you as leaders shaping the destiny of your country. And that is why Prime Minister gave the call to the youth in your institutions, in your organizations, in your platforms, in your forums. Please discuss this issue. Please debate and deliberate on this issue. Akash, you made a point, you said you talked about criticism. I think we must distinguish between criticism and allegation. For those of you who have heard Prime Minister's podcast, I'm sure even if you have not heard it full 3 hours, please hear it in parts. There's lots that you can absorb from that. And I think it was a very candid conversation. And there he makes a distinction between criticism and allegation. Oh, India is going to become a dictatorial state. It is allegation. It is one leader who is going to assert himself, allegation. Well, I don't think it is going to save that much energy because of these issues, criticism. So I think when we have these discussions, we should just brush aside the allegations, because in an academic atmosphere, in an intellectual exercise and space, in a space where we create narratives, there is no space for allegations, because allegations are not an academic and intellectual exercise. So we can criticize, we can have differences of opinion, but those differences of opinion and criticism must be based on facts. It must be based on solid research. So I go back a little in history, not very long back. At the 80th All India Conference of Presiding Officers in November 2020, just after COVID, Prime Minister Modi spoke about, in his address, he spoke about the need to look at the simultaneous election process. He said, India had a simultaneous elections in the past. It worked efficiently. The time has come to bring this system back for a more stable and developed democracy. Electoral reforms must ensure that governance is not hindered by continuous election cycles, as respected principal sir pointed out. This was in November 2020. And please remember that even before that, in 2017, the Niti Aayog, under the leadership of Professor Lake Vivek Debroy, who was very closely associated with us, with the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Research Foundation, even till his last days, he was associated with us, brought out a report on simultaneous elections. And one of Professor Vivek Debroy's co-authors, Kishore Desai, a young scholar who was at that time OSD at the Niti Aayog, also authored a paper for us, for the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Foundation. And since then, this paper found place on our website and was circulated. So it is at least a debate, it is a debate that goes back at least 8 to 9 years. In 2018, an all-party leaders conference meeting was called, and Prime Minister Modi had convened that all-party meeting to discuss the feasibility of one nation, one election. This was in 2018. So it is not that, allegation that Narendra Modi won a third term and then he suddenly woke up one day and he said, we need one nation, one election. Allegation. 2018, 2020, 2017. And he says, frequent election disrupt governance, development activities. Imagine the amount of time, money, and resources spent on separate elections. We must seriously discuss one nation, one election for a stronger democracy. We must seriously discuss. Now, let us please remember that Prime Minister Modi belongs to a political lineage which spent 50 years in the opposition. When Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee founded the Janasangh in October 1951, it was just 2 months before the general elections, which took place in December 51, January 52. And the Janasangh polled just a little over 3% vote and was recognized as a national political party. Since then till date, the Janasangh and the BJP's record of being a national political party is unbroken. And in every general election, the Janasangh increased its vote share. And in 1951, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, while election campaigning, because Panditji was a great Democrat, he always appreciated, he wanted other parties to come, and that's why he openly declared that he will crush the Janasangh. But, well, Panditji was a great Democrat. He was recognized as a certified Democrat. To that, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee replied, I say I will crush that crushing mentality. So I think if you look at the intent, Prime Minister Modi's party was not a party which imposed the emergency. Prime Minister Modi's record of imposing Article 356 is minimal and negligible, absolutely diminutive compared to those who ruled, the party which ruled post-independence for 55 years. And so therefore to say that it is going to clamp down on democracy, allegation. It is not criticism. So I just wanted to point this out, and then I'll get into some of the details, which I think will be very interesting perhaps for you. And Professor Kar, I would request you, because I think we should not end with this one conference. You have the benefit of Sir's presence. So perhaps you can actually bring out a booklet. You can further take it up. You can engage in podcasts. You can actually, the Udgam youngsters of Udgam can themselves organize the debate. You can have podcasts. You can bring in AI. You can bring in all the entire, technical world is in your grip. You are youngsters. You are the youth. So we can have a series. We can actually have a series with various other experts coming with Sir as the nodal point and continue this over the next 1 year perhaps. Now, I'll just briefly go through certain historical facts and context. So please let us remember that from 1951-52 to 1967, there was simultaneous election in this country. So what was applicable or what was useful in when we were a fledgling democracy, with the pressures of partition, with the pressures of displacement, with a weak economy, with so much disruption, with the states being formed, simultaneous elections were being held. And especially your respected principal, sir, to the state he belongs. We belong to very opposite states, temperamentally. His state has been holding simultaneous elections to parliament and assembly for years, and one of the most successful. So they say that, people will not be able to differentiate. Please don't pass a judgment on the acumen of the Indian electorate. Because the Indian electorate was very clear. The Odisha electorate was very clear whom they wanted in the assembly, whom they wanted in the Lok Sabha, in the parliament. And for years they were very clear. So it was a process. So we'll come to that very briefly later. So simultaneous election from 1951-52 to 1967, when sudden dismissal of elected government started and the entire balance broke. I am not an expert on this, but I have a minuscule experience of contesting 2 elections. I contested the assembly elections, polled about 1 lakh votes. And this 2024, I contested the Lok Sabha elections also. I get most of the toughest seats to contest, but so I don't question, I go and contest. And I polled about 4.5 lakh votes, more than 4.5 lakh votes. So I can actually feel the pressures and the constant pressures of electioneering, campaigning, and the huge infrastructural effort that is being put there. It is a very personal, concrete, grassroots experience that I have. Imagine teachers, imagine school buildings closed because they act as booths. Imagine teachers who have to do election duty. And then if there is continuous election, they're displaced from here to there and they have to continuously move around. 1960 onwards, separate elections began due to new states and crumbling governments. 67 was the last simultaneous election. You had the SBD parties coming up. The Janasangh also got a presence in various states. And then just because the Congress's majority was reduced and the Congress lost power in various states, the state governments were started to be toppled. 1971, the general elections were called and there was a disruption, further disruption. And in 1983, the then Election Commission of India revived the idea of simultaneous poll, 1983. So today those who are in power were nowhere in 1983. In 1984, the year the Bharatiya Janata Party was founded, in 1984, BJP promised reinstating one nation, one election. 1984. So this is not a newfangled idea. Please go. We are all scholars. I'm not making a political point. I'm not standing before you. She mentioned, but I'm not standing before you as a BJP person. I've done my doctorate. I write articles. I write books. So I can pass off as an academic also. So I am talking to you about, please look at the manifesto of the ruling party. Look at the manifestos of the ruling party, copies of the manifesto. And it is one of those who, at least which a party which tries to implement what it promises. Article 370 to Article 370. It promises. So one nation, one election from 1984, we have been saying. In 2015, the 79th Parliamentary Commission, before that 1999 Law Commission report, Justice Jeevan Reddy advocated simultaneous elections. In 2015, the 79th Parliamentary Standing Committee report favored simultaneous elections. Sudarshan Nachiyappan, Congress Member of Parliament, was the chair of the Parliamentary Committee. And it says, at that time in its report, the committee noted that the holding of simultaneous elections to Lok Sabha and state assemblies would reduce massive expenditure that is currently incurred for the conduct of separate elections. The policy paralysis that results from the imposition of the MCC during election time, you can't imagine. I mean, if you are on the ground during election time, for example, in 2024, it was a 3-month election. So 3 months, the model code of conduct, all over the country, there was a model code of conduct for 3 months. Basic decisions, appointments, recruitment, everything. You can't do anything. And then under this, some posters are very neatly blacked out, some posters are not. There is a plethora of complaints the Election Commission finds it so difficult to handle. And as soon as this is over, as soon as a 3-month election is over, again within 1 month, you have a state election. Again, a model code of conduct. There are things you can say, you cannot say, you can do, you cannot do. So, second, it says the policy paralysis that results from imposition of MCC, impact on delivery of essential services, and 4, burden on crucial manpower that is deployed during the election time. Security forces, government servants, and teachers. So these are the recommendations of the standing committee, led by the Congress member, the then Congress member of Parliament, Sudarshan Nachiyappan. And in 2019-2024, again in the BJP's manifesto, One Nation, One Election was included. 2019 all-party meeting was organized by the NDA government on One Nation, One Election. September 2023, the NDA government formed the high-level committee chaired by former President of India, and incidentally, he was also chairman of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Research Foundation. We had the good fortune of working with him. March 2024, the committee submitted its report after 6 months. 191 days it deliberated. 191 days. And it consulted a vast cross-section, like the national education policy. It was not suddenly conjured by some people who sat in a committee room and said, let's formulate the national education policy. One of the most comprehensive exercises from grassroots upward. After 3 decades, we finally got a national education policy. Same exercise, same approach was followed here as well. And if you look at the consultation and the consensus, 83% of online feedback given to the committee were in agreement. 50% of political parties consulted agreed. 100% former Supreme Court judges consulted agreed. I hope I'm right with this fact. For 75%, former Chief Justices of High Court agreed. 100% former Chief Election Commissioners consulted agreed. 87% plus former State Election Commissioners consulted agreed. And Bar Council of India, ASSOCHAM, CII, FICCI agreed as well. So I think there is no, and senior economics were consulted also. I think there is no occasion to say this was a piecemeal. It was a piecemeal part-time exercise with no serious consultation that took place. And in fact, along with the Parliamentary Standing Committee headed by Congress Member of Parliament, which batted for One Nation, One Election, senior politician Sharad Pawarji, in 2019, in a letter to then Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, said that the idea of one nation, one election is a good one. Luckily, fortunately, he wrote the letter. That letter is there as a record, because generally there is selective amnesia these days. People forget what they say or say right. Then, late Thiru Karunanidhi, in his biography, writes, supporting the idea of one nation, one election, that constant elections were leading to policy paralysis. Yet today, the party that he headed is headed by his son now, is opposing one nation, one election. But luckily, Thiru Karunanidhi, of course, they are, going back on all they did. I mean, that rupee symbol also was designed by their person. They have now relegated it. So I think, when we are debating, when we are discussing, it is very essential to go back to past records. And when you are in public life, when it is something of this sort, of this dimension, this magnitude, I think there should be some consistency in one's approach. Now, the committee headed by Sri Ramnath Kovindji consulted 47 political parties and 32 political parties favored it. They undertook in-depth research and analysis, and you had people like respected Subhash Kashyapji also as member of the committee. Why the Congress, why then Congress leader of opposition Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary became a member and then walked out of the committee is for them to explain. But the exercise, there was a clear-cut attempt, genuineness at trying to make the exercise non-partisan, to include all point of views, all representatives in it. And the responses also to the committee came from all corners of the country. Lakshadweep, Andaman, Nicobar, Nagaland, Dadar, Nagar Haveli, and the highest responses were received from Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, West Bengal, Gujarat, and Uttar Pradesh. So I'm just going through this because I wanted to give you an idea of the comprehensiveness, the vastness of this effort that was genuinely made. Separate elections, waste of resources, policy paralysis, huge socio-economic burden, and fatigue on voters. You can constantly feel that, oh, there's one more election, छोड़ो हमें तो इसमें दिया फिर क्यों जाकर municipal election में we'll give it in Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha में दिया, अच्छा अभी तो Lok Sabha में दिया, चलो. Let us forego. The other issue is, especially for us, we have seen in states like West Bengal, large number of migrants go back to their respective states to vote. It is a burden on their movement also. It is a burden on their pocket. If they have to continuously do that, go for panchayat, again go for assembly, again go for Lok Sabha, it becomes difficult for them, and this huge movement that takes place. And we have also seen it in West Bengal, it becomes very evident. Scarce resources can be optimized. Voters' participation in a large number can take place. And the business bodies who supported this they say that the production cycle can be maintained with simultaneous elections. Once, let it be one election, and then you go back to your, because there is no displacement, factories are not closed, workers do not move out, they are there once a year, everyone goes. And that can be a true festival of democracy. I'll just end with a few other points. Now, in West Bengal, there is please let us also remember that it's a very peculiar situation where this one nation, one election is being discussed. If I lose the elections, I cast aspersions on the Election Commission of India. I cast aspersion on the EVM. I mean, that, not us, those who do. For the first time publicly, and if you please look at the records, the Election Commission of India, a constitutional body, is being imputed motives. The EVM, despite repeated attempts, is unhackable. It has proved to be a most reliable machine, not only in India, but India has now, India is being looked upon by other countries. I was in Bhutan last week. An entire delegation is coming here for 1 month to get trained in their election process. And this is just one example. You will have multiple examples with political science students. You know, I don't have to tell you this. On the other hand, you have fake voter IDs. I just end later with a few words on West Bengal because their elections are unique. The writ of the election commission also stops at the border of West Bengal. I say, but that is unique. It is out of this planet, but part of the republic. Now, a single electoral roll and a single epic number. The electoral rolls are prepared by the State Election Commission. The State Election Commission in collaboration with the Election Commission of India. But the major say, the major control is of the State Election Commission. So today, standing in West Bengal, those who have raised the bogey of fake voter ID cards cannot escape responsibility because the Election Commission is the State Election Commission. Of course, the State Election Commission has dismissed that. So this is also extremely important, single epic and single electoral vote. These are the technical aspects that that can be looked into. Ultimately, there are certain points that if you look at the entire argument, it is that I spoke about government personnel, about security forces, school face extended closure. There is a heavy pressure on human capital, and one nation, one election significantly reduces the cost. And you made this point out. I think this election, this Lok Sabha election, it was 1 lakh crore was spent, and a potential saving of 12,000 crore can take place. And that is, of course, you can better compute and you can better understand, but broadly. And it is an increase of 1.5% of the GDP that can take place, adding 4.5 lakh crore to the economy. And very interestingly, in states where simultaneous elections have taken place, the turnout is high. And Karnataka in 1999, Kerala 20%, Kerala saw 20% rise in 1977. In 2024 general election, which saw 65.79%, which is comparatively lower than 2019 general election, which recorded a high of 67.4. 3 months. And then again another election after that. Voter fatigue. I have to stop. Okay. So these are some of the points I wanted to make. Now, for an elected representative, continuously campaigning to be on the campaign mode is itself challenging. He or she can't focus on a constituency development projects pile up, because you complete one election, you are there for 1.5 months, and then you go up to another election, again you are campaign mode for again 1.5 months, 2 months. So this is, I think, a very important point for elected representatives. Some say that they'll become inactive. Well, the way you want to look at it, I look at it the other way. You will have the elected representative will have more time to devote to his or her own constituency and be there on the ground with the people continuously at a stretch. In 2019, the all-party meeting that took place, 19 out of 19 parties, representative of 16 parties favored the idea of simultaneous election. And out of that, regional parties such as NCP, JDU, YSR Congress, BRS, LJP, Shiromani Akali Dal, NPP, National People's Party, and BJP. Why I'm flagging this point is because there's an argument which is put forward that regional parties will suffer. No. Regional parties find it extremely difficult to mobilize resources on a regular basis. And regional parties contesting one election in one go will after all be the beneficial. And that is why if you look at the minutes, if you look at the results of the 2019 all party meetings, regional parties, most of them, most that matter, came out in support of this bill and then came out in support of this proposal. So friends, I just, as I said, now we'll get the key to the entire argument. I just wanted to put forward these arguments before you, these points before you. It is for you to discover them. It is for you to undertake further research. It is for you to develop your own position. But from whatever I have understood as a layman, from whatever I have experienced by contesting elections, I think this is a wonderful, it's a very practical suggestion. If I were to contest election once in 5 years, I could then write 3 books at least after that. I could cater to my constituency. I have my time to write my books, do my research, because I know that the next election is again after 5 years, and I don't have to campaign anywhere else as well. I can focus on my strengths. I wanted to leave you with that, and of course, West Bengal is obviously a very different ballgame. Their election is an industry. So whenever election is announced, you have the arms and ammunition industry getting active. You have the booth disruptor industry getting active. You have the village intimidation gangs getting active. And you have an entire ecosystem which thrives on, I call it the election economy. And so that system will benefit if you have more elections and elections frequently. That false and illicit election economy will completely disappear if you have one nation, one election. And that's why sometimes the voice opposing one nation, one election is loudest from West Bengal. Because obviously, for obvious reasons, we know. So I leave you with that, and thank you very much for the opportunity, for giving me the opportunity for sharing a few thoughts with you. Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a very insightful talk. We discussed the difference between criticism and education, a simultaneous election, and its burden on voters. We also discussed policy paralysis, touched upon the new education policy, shared your own experience of contesting elections, and we also provided action points to our students. I'm sure your talk will be deeply imbibed and pondered over by your students. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite our distinguished guest and presider, Honorable Justice Goyal, for his talk. Please put a huge round of applause.
Namaskar. Principal Dr. Dr. Ganguly, Dr. Meena Suresh, faculty members, dear students. Thank you so much for inviting me today. We have heard Dr. Ganguly keynote address, which was very well prepared. It had key as well as the note, not only note. आप तो हिंदी भी समझते हैं ना? बहुत धन्यवाद। मुझे अंग्रेजी थोड़ी कम आती है, तो मैं प्रयास करूंगा हिंदी में बात करने। आप पॉलिटिकल साइंस के भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं? बहुत अच्छा। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आपने पढ़ा है, संविधान? ये बताइए, संविधान में सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट आपको क्या लगता है? क्या लगता है सबसे? एक अक्षर बताइए, एक लाइन बताइए। और कोई? ओके,
कितने का बोल दोगे?
थैंक यू। ऑल ऑफ यू आर राइट, ऑल ऑफ यू आर राइट, बट एक इसमें डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने कहा सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट एक वर्ड है जो सबसे पहले शब्द है संविधान, वी दी पीपल। सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट तो लोग ही है ना। संविधान किसके लिए? संविधान लोगों के लिए। इलेक्शन किसके लिए?
हेलो,
लोगों के लिए।
हाँ,
तो ये बड़ा अच्छा है कि आप इसमें इन्वॉल्व हो रहे हैं, ऐसे विषयों पर आप चर्चा कर रहे हैं,
इस पे
ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट।
लेटर
अब दूसरी बात बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने बताया
कर तो दिया मैं, चेक
कि
तो
संविधान
आता हुआ है।
लोगों के लिए। तो क्या संविधान वही बनना चाहिए या बार बार बदलना भी चाहिए, बदलाव भी होना चाहिए? बताइए। संविधान किसके लिए है? संविधान लोगों के लिए। और अगर लोगों के लिए है, लोगों की बात उसमें पूरी नहीं हो रही है,
आ तो रहा है,
तो लोगों की आवश्यकता है तो उसके अनुसार बदलना भी सकते।
नहीं आ रहा लैपटॉप पर।
ठीक है। क्यों? डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने कहा कि ये संविधान किसने बनाया है? लोगों ने बनाया। आप थे उस समय संविधान बनाने में? नहीं। और ये आपके ऊपर लागू है, इसलिए आपकी आवाज बड़ी जरूरी है कि संविधान क्या होना है। और डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने कहा कि हर जनरेशन किसी के ऊपर, डेमोक्रेसी का मतलब क्या है, किसी के ऊपर कोई चीज लादी नहीं जाती। हर जनरेशन को ये राइट है ये विषय तय करने का कि क्या संविधान है। डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एक्सपर्ट जेफरसन को कोट किया अपनी स्पीच में, और उन्होंने कहा कि इसलिए हमने जो संविधान बनाया है वो ऐसा बनाया है कि जिसको जब चाहे लोगों के भले के लिए जब आवश्यकता पड़े लोगों के प्रतिनिधि उसको बदल सके। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में आर्टिकल 368 इस प्रकार का ये प्रोविजन। अभी आपके सामने डॉक्टर गांगुली ने बताया कि 1967 तक सभी इकट्ठे चुनाव हुए। ये सही बात है। मैं 1967 के चुनाव मैंने देखे हैं, आप में से बहुत से बच्चों ने तो देखे नहीं होंगे। और क्यों बदला गया ये मुझे खुद पता है, एज ए सिटीजन क्यों बदला। 1966 में लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी की मृत्यु हुई राष्ट्र में। उसके बाद इंदिरा गांधी पावर में आई। इंदिरा गांधी जब प्रधानमंत्री बनी तो कांग्रेस में ही दो गुट हो गए। कुछ लोग और एस्पिरेंट थे, बनना चाहते थे, जो नहीं बने सीनियर लोग थे हिंदी के अलग अलग। तो एक माइनॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट चली लेफ्टिस्ट पार्टी के साथ। इंदिरा गांधी उससे कंफर्टेबल नहीं। उस समय बड़ी टसल हुई। उनके जो एडवाइजर थे, राजनीति में बहुत चीजें राजनीति के लिए ही होती है, और दो विषय उन्होंने उठाए उस समय। वो दो विषय क्या थे? इंटरेस्टिंग उस समय की डिबेट, क्योंकि मैं स्टूडेंट था तो मैंने देखी है, आप में से नहीं देखी होगी। आई यूज्ड टू बी वेयर यू आर टुडे, स्कूल में। तो क्या हुआ, उन्होंने कहा अगर मुझे अपना एस्टेब्लिश करना है प्रधानमंत्री के तौर पर, तो उनके एडवाइजर्स ने, उनके जो सलाहकार थे, उन्होंने उनको दो मुद्दे बताए। एक मुद्दा ये कि प्रिवी पर्सेस खत्म करें। अगर प्रिवी पर्सेस खत्म करेंगे तो पब्लिक को कह सकते हैं ये राजे महाराजा ये इतना भारत का पैसा ले रहे हैं, इसको मुझे बंद करना है, इससे आम आदमी की वोट नहीं मिलेगी। दूसरा मुद्दा था कि बैंक प्राइवेट, कोई बिरला का है, कोई इसका है, बड़े बड़े इंडस्ट्रियल हाउसेज के हैं, उन बैंकों को टेक ओवर करो और ये बताओ कि अगर हमने बैंक टेक ओवर कर लिया तो गरीब आदमी को पैसा मिल सकता है। ये दो मुद्दे उठाकर उन्होंने इलेक्शन किया और इलेक्शन भी जल्दी हुआ और बाद में
चलो
इमरजेंसी लगी 75 में। इमरजेंसी के बाद जो कार्यकाल था समाप्त हो रहा था पार्लियामेंट का, पर उन्होंने कहा बार बार चुनाव होते हैं, कार्यकाल बढ़ाना चाहिए, तो 1 साल उन्होंने बढ़ा दिया इमरजेंसी। तो ये हमेशा होता रहा है, लेकिन होना चाहिए लोगों के हित के लिए, पॉलिटिकल कंसिडरेशन पर नहीं होना चाहिए। डॉक्टर गांगुली ने कहा मैं पॉलिटिक्स की बात नहीं करता हूँ, ये बात सही है, इस विषय पे पॉलिटिक्स की बात करना आवश्यक नहीं है। लोगों के हित में क्या है ये आप सबसे ज्यादा इंडिपेंडेंटली विचार करें। 1928 में एक इंटरेस्टिंग आपको बात बता रहा हूँ, आपने साइमन कमीशन सुना ना, भगत सिंह का नाम सुना? तो 1928 में साइमन कमीशन आया था ये स्टडी करने, इसमें इटली जो बाद में प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने वो भी मेंबर थे। ये स्टडी करने के जो भारत को आजादी किस प्रकार के दी जाए, भारत की जो मूवमेंट चल रहा था तो किस प्रकार से अंग्रेजी सरकार अपनी पावर को कम करे। लेकिन वो जो साइमन कमीशन था, भारत के लोगों का मानना था ये सब इन्होंने डिटरमिन कर रखा है, ये एक ड्रामा है। तो लाला लाजपत राय ने उसका बाइकआउट, जिस पर उन पर लाठीचार्ज हुआ और उनकी मृत्यु हो गई, और उसका बदला करने के लिए जिसने लाठीचार्ज किया था वो भगत सिंह जो उस समय नेता थे, उन्होंने ये तय किया कि कांग्रेस को मारे, गदर पार्टी। तो वो जो इंसिडेंट हुई उसके बाद भगत सिंह लाहौर से कलकत्ता चले। आप सबको पता है ना भगत सिंह की। भगत सिंह के ऊपर मर्डर केस चला लाहौर कॉन्स्पिरेसी पे, और उसमें विटनेस किसको लाए, एक विटनेस कलकत्ता का उसमें, और वो आईबी ऑफिसर उस समय, और उसको क्यों विटनेस पेश किया गया कि भगत सिंह कलकत्ता में मैंने इनको देखा जिस दिन इंसिडेंट हुई उस अगले दिन। और कहाँ देखा था, कांग्रेस की एक नौजवान सभा की बैठक थी जिसमें नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस का भाषण हुआ, वहां मैंने भगत सिंह को। किसी ने मुझे पूछा था भगत सिंह लाहौर से कलकत्ता गए तो कहाँ रुके, तो मैं रिसर्च कर रहा था तो मुझे पता चला वो नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र के घर में रुके, और वो उस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित थे, और जो आईबी ऑफिसर था उस कार्यक्रम को कवर कर रहा, ठीक है। तो उसने कहा मैंने भगत सिंह को देखा। ये तो मैं बाई दी वे बात बता रहा हूँ, तो नेताजी का जो भाषण था 1928 में वो स्टूडेंट्स के लिए इंटरेस्टिंग और इम्पोर्टेंट बात ये, और नेताजी ने कहा कि स्टूडेंट्स से क्या एक्सपेक्टेड कि जो ऑर्डर चल रहा है उसको ब्लाइंडली एक्सेप्ट ना करे, उसको बदलने की ठाने, जो बदलना चाहिए उसको बदलना है, मैकेनिकली नहीं। जो नई जनरेशन आई है उसको एक नया विचार अपना सामने लाना चाहिए। ये स्पीच भगत सिंह के ट्रायल में लाहौर कॉन्स्पिरेसी में एग्जिबिटेड डॉक्यूमेंट। तो मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि जो नेताजी ने कहा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था, कॉलेज स्टूडेंट young people must independently examine what should be the state of affairs and stand for a change, not mechanically allow the things to go on further. तो अभी जो बात हो रही है आप इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छी बात है। क्या गवर्नेंस सिस्टम होना चाहिए, डेमोक्रेसी क्या है, हमें डेमोक्रेसी चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए, डेमोक्रेसी चाहिए तो कैसी चाहिए, और डेमोक्रेसी कैसे होती है। डेमोक्रेसी का मतलब ही है इलेक्शन सिस्टम। लोगों के प्रतिनिधि चुने जाएंगे और वो लोगों के हित में निर्णय करेंगे और कैसे लोगों का हित होगा, ऐसे कानून बनाएंगे, ऐसी पॉलिसी बनाएंगे। बन रही है नहीं बन रही है, ये एक बड़ा क्वेश्चन। क्या इलेक्शन सिस्टम सिर्फ वोट डालना ही है? सिर्फ वोट डालना। इलेक्शन सिस्टम एक सिस्टम है, वोट डालना एक सिस्टम है, लेकिन पार्टिसिपेशन वो तो कंटिन्यूअस रहनी चाहिए। वोट डालना बार बार होना आवश्यक नहीं। वोट डालना बार बार आवश्यक नहीं है, उसके बहुत से कारण डॉक्टर जयंगुली ने बताए। और आपने कहा कि फॉर्मर जजेस से भी पूछा था, उन्होंने कहा कि भाई बार बार नहीं होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल सही है। इसका कारण कोर्ट में इलेक्शन होता है साहब, अभी तो कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट लगा, सब केसों को एडजर्न कर दिया, सब काम रुक जाता है, इंपॉर्टेंट से इंपॉर्टेंट सब काम रुक जाता है, सब कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट। ये बिल्कुल डिजायरेबल नहीं है जजेस का, तो ये सबका मानना है। दैट इज द रीजन आपने कहा कि जजेस तो सब सहमत है, जजेस तो हुए सहमत, क्योंकि जो गवर्नमेंट बननी है वो बननी है, ठीक है ना। मुझे ये लगता नहीं है कि ये कोई विषय ऐसा डिबेट का है। यानी वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन ये बड़ा आवश्यक बात है, इसके बहुत से कारण है। आपने कहा इकोनॉमी, मैं समझता हूँ चलो इकोनॉमी को भी एक तरफ रखें, पैसे की बात है। अल्टीमेटली डेमोक्रेसी इंपॉर्टेंट, आपकी चॉइस का गवर्नमेंट चल रही है नहीं चल रही है, वो एक पैरामीटर है जो असली पैरामीटर। ये तय करने के लिए इलेक्शन कब होना चाहिए, कैसे होना चाहिए, दैट इज द रियल इशू। यस, मनी इज इम्पोर्टेंट, पब्लिक मनी इज इम्पोर्टेंट, पब्लिक मनी फॉर पीपल्स वेलफेयर, इट शुड नॉट बी वेस्टेड, आई एग्री। But then the point for whether you should have frequent elections or there should be reform, I am not considering money is the main issue. अभी यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में क्या होता है, एक बार इलेक्शन होता है सीधा ही डायरेक्टली प्रेसिडेंट का, उसकी सबसे वर्ल्ड में पावर सबसे ज्यादा है। तो बार बार इलेक्शन होना और ये कहना कि साहब डिक्टेटरशिप हो जाएगी, एक ही बार इलेक्शन हुआ, ये तो बिल्कुल एब्सर्ड बात है। ये एक नैरेटिव बनाना है, ये पॉलिटिकल कंसिडरेशन है। इसके इलेक्शन इफेक्टिव है या नहीं और गवर्नमेंट लोगों के हित में काम कर रही है या नहीं, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है। लेट अस फोकस ऑन दैट, ऑल पार्टी शुड फोकस ऑन दैट। तो डेमोक्रेसी है किस लिए? डेमोक्रेसी मैंने जैसे शुरू में आपसे बात की, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मतलब है क्या? विधि, हमारे हित में काम हो रहा है, यानी ये डेमोक्रेसी। इलेक्शन, यस, इलेक्शन इज हाउ टू गेट द बेस्ट गवर्नमेंट, certainly should be matter of very very intensive debate and continuous debate. अब हमारी 28 स्टेट्स हैं, 8 यूनियन टेरिटरीज हैं। अब साइमल्टेनियसली पोल का मतलब खर्चा होना, खर्चा बचना और रिपीटेड इलेक्शन के जो और कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज है, डिप्लॉयमेंट ऑफ फोर्सेस, बड़ा हैरासमेंट भी है इलेक्शन, अननेसेसरी इलेक्शन। यस, इलेक्शन तो जरूरी है, पर अननेसेसरी इलेक्शन में बड़ा, आपने सब पार्लियामेंट कमेटी की बात बता दी, पार्लियामेंट स्टैंडिंग कमेटी की बात बताई, लॉ कमीशन की रिपोर्ट बताई, और इसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रही है और अभी भी प्रॉब्लम है। मैं इस बात पर भी नहीं हूँ कि कितने लोग इसके पक्ष में कितने विपक्ष में, ये तो डेमोक्रेसी में होगा ही, कुछ विपक्ष में होंगे कुछ पक्ष में होंगे। बात अच्छी से अच्छी हो तो भी हो भी सकते हैं, नहीं भी। अब रीजनल पार्टी तो क्या कठिनाई होने वाली है? कोई कठिनाई होने वाली नहीं है, ये मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ। अब अम्बेडकर के सामने, डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर के सामने जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बन गया था, उसका उद्घाटन हो रहा है, उस पर डिबेट हो रही है, ये एक डिबेट का मुद्दा था दूसरे फोरम में उस समय 1944। उन्होंने कहा साहब आपने तो सेंटर को बहुत पावर दे दी है, स्ट्रॉन्ग फेडरल सिस्टम इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर ए रियल डेवलपमेंट, स्ट्रॉन्ग सेंटर इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, स्ट्रॉन्ग फेडरल सिस्टम। तो अम्बेडकर ने इस बात को जवाब दिया, only center can work for common end and for general interest of the community as a whole। आप कहीं भी जाएंगे तो आप क्या बताएंगे, आपने तो बताएंगे कि आप दिल्ली के हैं, तो सबसे पहले आप बताएंगे आई हैव कम फ्रॉम इंडिया। ये हमारी आइडेंटिटी क्या है, सबसे बड़ी आइडेंटिटी क्या है, हमारी सबसे बड़ी आइडेंटिटी आई एम इंडियन फर्स्ट, जैसे बोलते हैं इंडिया फर्स्ट, आई एम इंडियन फर्स्ट। बाकी मेरी जात पात ये चीजें हमारे संविधान में कहता है, ये इंडियन, ऑल इंडियंस आर वन, ऑल इंडियंस आर इक्वल, रिलीजन, कास्ट, लैंग्वेज, रीजन आर नॉट द मेन कंसिडरेशन एंड ऑल आर इक्वल। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में आपने बताया आर्टिकल 21, आर्टिकल 32, ये एक ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट में है पूरे देश में, एक ही कानून है पूरे देश में, एक ही आर्टिकल 32 है जिसमें हर आदमी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में है, एक ही आर्टिकल 21 है जिसमें राइट टू लाइफ सबको गारंटी है, कोई गवर्नमेंट हो कोई, एक ही आर्टिकल 19 है आपने बताया, क्योंकि फ्रीली यू कैन गो एंड सेटल इन एनी पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया, कोई रुकावट नहीं, फ्रीली यू कैन मूव थ्रू आउट इंडिया, आपको कोई पासपोर्ट नहीं चाहिए, कोई स्टेट आपको रोक नहीं, तो यू आर सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया, आपका एक ही पासपोर्ट, एक ही नेशनलिटी, एक ही आइडेंटिटी। तो भारत has always been one country, unlike US। अभी ट्रंप ने कहा कनाडा को भी हमें अमेरिका में मिला के 51 स्टेट बना, तो इस तरीके की स्टेट्स अमेरिका में बनी, पहले 28 स्टेट थी, अब 50 स्टेट। भारत में क्या है, ऋग्वेद के समय से एक देश, तो भाषा अलग है, टोटल यूनिटी, इन स्पाइट ऑफ डाइवर्सिटी देयर इज यूनिटी। ये एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की स्पेशल फीचर है, इसको बदला नहीं जा, फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर भी है, बट ओवरऑल डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने लिखा इट इज यूनिटी ऑफ द कंट्री, इट इज फ्रेटर्निटी, इट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वैल्यू। आपने प्रियम्बल किया, प्रियम्बल में शुड बी यूनिटी ऑफ द कंट्री एंड फ्रेटर्निटी, दिस इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फंडामेंटल वैल्यू डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने कहा, इक्वालिटी, लिबर्टी, फ्रेटर्निटी। इक्वालिटी, लिबर्टी क्या है, कौन सी वैल्यू ज्यादा है? लिबर्टी में भी उन्होंने कहा इक्वालिटी को पढ़िए, और इक्वालिटी में भी लिबर्टी को पढ़िए, और दोनों में फ्रेटर्निटी को पढ़िए। ये है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो भाईचारा, एक देश, एकता, ये संविधान की, ठीक है, लोकल इश्यूज है, उसके लिए अब जिसको बोलते हैं आजकल 2 टीयर गवर्नमेंट, पहले था 3 टीयर म्यूनिसिपल इलेक्शन, वहां भी चुनाव है, और सबसे स्ट्रॉन्गली फाइट होता है इलेक्शन वही पंचायत में और म्यूनिसिपल कमेटी। सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट इलेक्शन पार्लियामेंट का, उसमें बहुत सीरियस इलेक्शन में फाइट नहीं करते तो वो जो अपोज कर रहे हैं वो कह रहे हैं साहब इकट्ठा होगा, हमें तो असेंबली लड़ना है, तो असेंबली इलेक्शन का इफेक्ट ना हो जाए, वो उनका ज्यादा कंसर्न है। रीजनल पार्टी को तो पार्लियामेंट में तो बहुत कम आना है। अभी जो ये एक इनिशिएटिव प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट ने लिया मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में, उन्होंने कहा ये एक रिफॉर्म है, ग्रास रूट लेवल पे उन्होंने सभी पॉइंट को कैच किया, लोगों की भावना को कैच किया। आम आदमी, मेरे और आपके दिमाग में जो बात थी, ये क्या है, हर रोज इलेक्शन, सारा काम ठप हुआ हुआ है, और आपका स्कूल में भी वोटिंग होती होगी, यहाँ भी सेंटर बनता होगा, स्कूल भी बंद हो जाता है बच्चों और स्कूल में भी, कॉलेज में भी, टीचर्स को भी पोलिंग ऑफिसर बना दे। अब ठीक है, कुछ चीजें कंपल्शन है और कुछ चीजें ऑप्शन है, जहाँ ऑप्शनल है तो ना विचार हो। आप स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप इंडिपेंडेंटली विचार करिए। ये कोई पॉलिटिकल फोरम नहीं है, ना कोई बात आपके ऊपर लादी जा रही है, ना थोपी जा रही है, पर आप विचार कर रहे हैं, ये बात अप्रिशिएट। क्योंकि आप नहीं कंसर्न होंगे तो इस देश के बारे में कौन कंसर्न? अपने बारे में आपको ही कंसर्न है। आप देखिए आपके हित में क्या है। ये तो एक छोटा सा मुद्दा है जिसके ऊपर डिबेट हो रही है, लेकिन अब प्रॉब्लम क्या आ रही है? प्रॉब्लम ये आ रही है मेजोरिटी। इसमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कुछ प्रोविजन है, उसमें यह है कि 5 साल का टर्म होगा। आपने बताया उड़ीसा में तो पार्लियामेंट और विधानसभा का साथ साथ हो रहा है, असेंबली का चुनाव कुछ स्टेट में नहीं हो रहा। और उससे फिर क्या होता है कि जो आएगी टर्म उसकी 5 साल होगी। पिछले साल पार्लियामेंट का इलेक्शन हुआ था, आज इस साल जो असेंबली के इलेक्शन होंगे उनकी 5 साल जब पूरी होगी तो वो मैच नहीं हो रहा। ये मिसमैच हुआ है 1967। अब उसको मिसमैच को दूर करने के लिए इसमें संविधान में 2 प्रोविजन हैं, आर्टिकल 83 और आर्टिकल 172। जो प्रोविजन ये है कि 5 साल का कार्यकाल होगा लोकसभा का, 5 साल का विधानसभा। इसमें थोड़ा सा बदल करना आवश्यक है। यही जो रामनाथ कोविंद कमेटी ने बताया है, उन्होंने कहा 82A ऐड कर दीजिए, जिसमें ये प्रोविजन डाल दीजिए, 172 में अमेंडमेंट कर दीजिए। अब मुझे भी कोई बहुत ज्यादा लंबी चौड़ी बात इसमें करनी नहीं है, क्योंकि इतना कानून का मुद्दा ये नहीं है जितना मुद्दा पॉलिसी मैटर। क्योंकि अगर कोर्ट में आएगा, कोर्ट के लिए तो पॉलिसी मैटर आप करिए, कोई रुकावट थोड़ी है। संविधान में कोई ऐसा फंडामेंटल रेस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है कि आप नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन आपको 2/3 मेजोरिटी चाहिए। इस लोकसभा में गवर्नमेंट को 2/3 मेजोरिटी ऑफ द प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग ये सिक्योर करना पड़ेगा, उसके बिना ये नहीं है। अब मैं इस पर और ज्यादा बातचीत नहीं करना चाहता हूँ। अगर कोई क्वेश्चन आंसर है तो उससे बात कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन एक छोटी सी बात में लास्ट बात कह रहा हूँ 1 सेकंड के अंदर। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में मैंने आपको पूछा था शुरू में, और वहीं पर मैं समाप्त करूंगा, तो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज क्या है? आपने अपने अपने आंसर दिए, मैंने भी आपको एक आंसर दिया, लेकिन मैं अब दोबारा पूछ रहा हूँ और उससे दूसरा आंसर मैं भी दूंगा और आपसे भी पूछ रहा हूँ। वो उस तरफ आपका किसी का ध्यान आज तक नहीं गया है, ये मुझे ऐसा लगता है। जिस पर किसी का ध्यान नहीं गया है वो बात मैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की आपसे पूछना चाहकर आप अपने पास उसका आंसर मैं दूंगा, आप कोई देना चाहे तो बताइए। इसके बारे में एज सच प्रोविजन नहीं है, बट वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट। एनीवन कैन अटेम्प्ट एनी आंसर? अटेम्प्ट करना चाहे तो करे, आपको 1 मिनट का टाइम है। उसके बाद मैं आपको जवाब दूंगा। वो है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में 28 इमेजेस, 28 फोटो जो ओरिजिनल को। किसको पता है इस बात से? गुड, वेरी गुड। अब मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट ये करूंगा, गूगल पे देखिए कि वो 28 फोटो क्यों और क्यों है, और वो उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में बड़ा विजन है। अंबेडकर ने उन 28 फोटो का, बिना फोटो का रेफरेंस दिए अपनी स्पीच में कुछ बात कही कि संविधान सिर्फ वो नहीं है जो, ये तो एक गवर्नेंस का एक सिस्टम बना है। कैसे इलेक्शन होगा, कैसे गवर्नमेंट बनेगी, क्या जुडिशरी होगी, क्या असेंबली होगी, क्या लेजिस्लेचर होगी, क्या एग्जीक्यूटिव होगी, क्या इलेक्शन कमीशन होगा। लेकिन सिर्फ इस बात से संविधान नहीं चलेगा। संविधान चलेगा जो लोग चलाने वाले हैं उनकी मोटिवेशन है। ये अगर उनकी मोटिवेशन ठीक होगी तो संविधान में कमी भी पूरी हो जाएगी, और वो ठीक नहीं होगी तो संविधान आप चाहे तीसरे दुनिया से भी बनवा कर ले आए, वो संविधान नहीं। और आज के दिन जब हम 75 वर्ष की बात करते हैं तो लोगों के मन में बड़े बड़े प्रश्न भी आते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी कमियां भी दिखाई। मैं उन कमियों में अभी नहीं जा रहा हूँ, लेकिन उन्होंने बताया कि ये मैं एक कहना चाहता हूँ कि एक फेल्योर का कारण ये है कि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को उन 28 फोटो के बारे में जानकारी है। जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ाने के साथ साथ मैं पॉलिटिकल साइंस के प्रोफेसर और स्टूडेंट्स को भी रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि उन 28 इमेजेस को निकाल कर आप डिस्प्ले करिए। वो 28 इमेजेस क्या हैं, मैं टाइम बचाने के लिए सिर्फ 10 इमेजेस की बात कर रहा हूँ। उसमें सबसे पहली इमेज है राम राज्य। अब लोग बात करने लगते हैं पॉलिटिक्स की, रिलीजन की। नथिंग टू डू विद रिलीजन। वो भी एक एम्पायर था, वो भी एक गवर्नेंस था, वो भी एक गवर्नेंस मॉडल था। और उस गवर्नेंस मॉडल की तरफ राष्ट्रपिता महात्मा गांधी ने रेफरेंस दिया कि राम राज्य हो। राम राज्य का मतलब जहां सबको न्याय मिले, जहां सबकी प्रगति हो। लेकिन हमने उसको रिलीजन से जोड़कर उस पर आंख निकली, पर आज तक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन या पॉलिटिकल साइंस की क्लासेस में राम राज्य के बारे में पढ़ाया नहीं जाता। जब तक राम राज्य को आप नहीं समझेंगे, संविधान को नहीं समझेंगे। दूसरी इमेज उसमें है भगवान कृष्ण। उन्होंने कैसे अन्याय को फेस किया। अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने, पता है आपको सुप्रीम कोर्ट का नीति वाक्य क्या है? ये बताइए, मैं स्टूडेंट से पूछना चाहता हूँ। हमारे लेटर हेड पे, हमारे कार्ड पे जो छपा हुआ, और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चीफ जस्टिस के कोर्ट के बाहर बड़ा बड़ा लिखा हुआ। और ये भी आपको बताना चाहता हूँ पार्लियामेंट में भी क्या लिखा हुआ। और वो बड़े वैल्यूएबल चीजें जिनको हमने आंख की है। वो क्या लिखा है? यतो धर्म ततो जय। ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का लिखा है। आपको पता है कहां से आया है वो? ये कहां से आया है? तो महाभारत से आया है। महाभारत में जब दुर्योधन अपनी माता के पास जाता है, तो मैं लड़ाई के मैदान में जा रहा हूँ, मुझे आप विजयी भव का आशीर्वाद दें। तो समझते देगी, माँ तो देगी और कुछ दे ऐसा। पर गंधारी ने कहा नो, उसको नहीं कहा नो, पर उसने कहा यतो धर्मा ततो जय। जो ठीक रास्ते पे है वो जीते। देखिए, छोटी सी बात है पर उसका कितना सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है। जब जिसको वो गाइड करता है ठीक रास्ते पे जो है उसको जीतना है। संविधान में इसलिए राम कृष्ण शिव, भगवान शिव, बुद्ध, महावीर, गुरु गोविंद सिंह, शिवाजी, लक्ष्मीबाई, नेताजी, ये चित्र है। ये भारत के सबसे बड़े और विद्वान और बेस्ट आइकॉनिक फिगर हुए, जिनके बारे में पढ़ाया जाए तभी संविधान समझ में आ सकता है। और जिनको संविधान, जिसको भी संविधान के अंदर काम करना है, उनको उसके बारे में जानकारी होना। मैं ज्यादा बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि ये विषय लिमिटेड है। बाकी चीजें मैं फिर कभी आपने कहा अवसर मिलेगा तो मैं जरूर बात करूंगा। धन्यवाद।
I deeply thank you for that enlightening talk, sir, which you delivered in our mother tongue, making it easier for our young minds to grasp it. You touched upon some important historical events, including Simon Commission and Netaji's lecture in 1928, which was for students. You also reminded us that our identity as Indians is unified, which is also a special feature of the Constitution, therefore highlighting the need of one nation, one election. You taught our budding students that their voice matters. And just as you said, I quote, young people must independently examine what's going on and stand up for change. I unquote your words. I'm certain our audience will remember your wise words and work for reforms they wish to see. Now, I would like to invite our convener, Mr. Akash Soni, to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you as we conclude today's seminar. On behalf of BA Program Society, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to all who contributed to making this event as a success. I would like to extend our deepest thanks to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Anirban Ganguly, sir, Director of Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Research Foundation, for the insightful and thought-provoking presentation you shared with us. Your expertise on One Nation, One Election has given us new perspective, and we truly grateful for the knowledge you have imparted. The depth and clarity which you explained, complex ideas were truly impressive, and I am sure that all of us leave here with a greater understanding about the One Nation, One Election. As you explained it that in next 25 years, how it can help to maintain our Bharat as its powerful stature. And there is a difference between criticism and allegation. And criticism must be based on facts. I would like to, sir, sir.
I just wanted to really, I think we have all realized with what Justice Goel ended. I think this illustration 28 illustration part, it's still, I remember. It is that so you can go, you can do, you can do something fantastic with AI also. Please remember there were 5 women artists also who did this illustration. And let the team. And Netaji has recruited Nandalal Ghosh for the Haripura Congress to create, design the Congress Pandal.
होना चाहिए.
And since that time, our both have been constantly doing that. And then you were called upon to illustrate this. Imagine Netaji also secretly did 28 illustration. Bhagwan Buddha is, and I felt a bit nostalgic because obviously the entire artist group out of Shantiniketan. That was my first contest. So please,
Thank you. No, sir, please. I would also like to express our sincere appreciation to our decider and speaker, Honorable Justice Adarsh Kumar Goel, sir, former judge of Supreme Court of India, for guiding us through today's session. Your seamless coordination and leadership ensured the event run smoothly and stayed on track. Your contributions have played an essential role in creating an engaging and productive environment for all attendees. A special thanks to our respected principal, sir, Director IQAC, Professor Kusha Tiwari ma'am, Professor Neena Shirish ma'am, whose hard work, dedication and meticulous planning made this event possible. Members of Udgam Society, your contributions behind the scene have not gone unnoticed, and we truly appreciate everything you did to make this event run smoothly. To all our esteemed guests, participants, thank you for your presence and for making this event a success. Your participation has added immense value, and we are grateful for your enthusiasm and support. I would also like to thank our AO Atul Jain sir, Manoj sir, other office bearers, non-teaching staff members who have worked tirelessly to ensure everything went according to the plan. Thank you everyone for being a part of this event. We hope you gained valuable insights, made meaningful connection, enjoyed your time with us. Let us now leave with the motivation to continue striving for excellence and collaborating to create a positive impact in our respective fields. Thank you so much, guests, for sparing your time with us. I would like to request you all to give standing ovations to our guests who have shared their valuable time with us. Thank you so much, sir.
We would like to invite all our students and faculty members for a group photo. So that would be a real privilege for all of us. After the national anthem.
Everyone, please be seated. Please stay back for a minute. Now
National
I would
anthem का
request
आपने
our
नाम लिया था?
dignitaries to proceed to the reading room for lunch. Thank you very much.
बताओ मुझे.
Sorry. I would request everyone to keep standing for the national anthem.
भारत माता की
Request all the members of BA Program Society Udgam to come on the stage for the group photograph. All the faculty members of the organizing committee.
all faculty members are requested to please come on this stage.
जतिन जी, स्वागत, ऊपर बुलाइए। All Udgam society members are requested to please come to the stage.